My parents divorced when I, nearly adult male, was 2. My mom remarried last year after being with my stepdad since I was 5. My dad, however, has been remarried 3 times since and was in 6 other live-in relationships. The last marriage stuck better than the others, and they celebrated their 4th wedding anniversary in June. I was a young teen when Dad married his wife. He only introduced me to her after they got engaged. I think she was the other woman in his 3rd marriage, but I can't be sure. I do know he cheated on his ex-wife, though, and they were only married for like 18 months before she was gone. I still remember him introducing her and her boys, who were a toddler and a preschooler at the time. I know people will suggest the youngest at least must be Dad's, but he's biracial, and both my dad and his wife are white, so I don't think so. They were saying how we would be a family, and she told me her boys would love a big brother. I was not super enthusiastic and didn't like that I was being called a big brother to 2 random kids. They married 5 months later, and a week later, my dad forced me to babysit the boys so they could go on a date. The following week, I was at his house, and he forced me to babysit so she could go shopping for a few hours. His wife told me it was an excellent chance for us to bond, and I didn't think she or my dad were happy when I basically just sat there during the day or left them in the bed at night when babysitting. I didn't want to do it, and I told my dad, and he said tough luck. After the instability of my dad after his divorce from my mom, and the fact I felt he basically gave me the biggest screw you since he didn't even give me a chance to meet them before he got serious, I asked my mom if she would fight for custody of me, and she did, and won. We had a lot of instability. Thank you for that, Dad. My dad really tried to keep me involved, even though I was living with Mom, and he tried to get me to babysit a few more times before finally giving up that angle. But now it's been years, and he's upset that I don't act like I'm part of his family and have not made an effort to know his stepkids. He called my mom about graduation after Christmas, and he got annoyed when he heard that there would be limited spaces and that I'd already claimed my share. I saw him on New Year's Eve at my grandparents' party, and he approached me and told me how disappointed he was that things had failed. He tried to drag my grandparents into the conversation too. Then he said, "It's like our family failed because I made you babysit once or twice." I told him it was a big reason, since I hardly knew his wife or kids, and he made it clear my opinion and comfort meant nothing to him. His stepkids were there, so he got angry with me for confirming it. I told him he shouldn't have said it, and he should have left me alone. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your dad is using you as a tool and not considering your opinion. It's a bit nervy to mention the term family when he seems to have churned through women and may have a skewed idea of a family. Babysitting is bonding. LOL, your dad has such nerve. It's like our family failed because I made you babysit once or twice. This blows my mind. He is clearly blind to what he's done. OP is a better person than me. I would have said our family failed because he walked away, wasn't a father figure, was flaky on child support payments. I'm guessing since OP mentions a lot of stability, and Lord knows what else. He wants to act like the problem is his 2 volunteers to babysit. Allow me to drag all the skeletons out of his closet. I mean, this is the guy who had 3 marriages and 6 live-in girlfriends in 11 years. He clearly has a use and throw away mentality when it comes to other people, but he's likely angry. OP didn't allow him to use him until he was ready to discard his son. I've come across people like OP's dad, and they're always angry if the other person does the ditching. They believe they're the sole one with that prerogative. Well, I cannot imagine the mental gymnastics it takes to think becoming a wife number 4 to a man whose every relationship falls apart in around a year is a good idea. Honestly, I imagine all his women have a severe case of relationship-itis. You know, when somebody so badly wants a romantic relationship, they could care less about the person they're starting the relationship with. OP, you did nothing wrong, nor did you say anything that wasn't the truth. And Dad has the maturity of a nailhead. My mother-in-law wants to be in the room when I give birth. She's an unpleasant and pushy woman, and none of her daughters allowed her near them when they gave birth. My sisters-in-law are all at least 12 years older than my husband and are all done having kids. I'm the last chance for my mother-in-law to see the birth of a grandchild. I have zero interest in letting that judgmental old woman see me down there. She's objected to me from the beginning because I have tattoos, and I'm not in any way interested in being a stay-at-home wife. I have a lot of tattoos and a career I plan on continuing, and I have tattoos down there that are none of her business. My husband is her baby boy. He's a good husband and has stood up for me against her many times. He put his foot down when she tried to interfere with our wedding. When she tried to convince him that we should move to his hometown where he could work, but I wouldn't be able to find an employer in my line of work, he said no, because my career is important to me, and while we can live off of his earnings, the cost of living is lower in his hometown. Our combined earnings are much better altogether. She started crying to him that she only wants to see a grandchild being born. All her friends have experienced it, and she wants it. He's starting to crumble under her emotional blackmail. So I made it clear that the only way I would agree was if, before my birth, my husband made arrangements for my father to witness him getting a colonoscopy. He would need a ride anyway, so 2 birds, 1 stone, you know. He said I'm being ridiculous, but I said none of my brothers will let my dad see them getting a camera shoved up their butt, and he felt left out. He finally understood my point, but his mother was upset that I used such a stupid comparison. She says that it isn't the same thing at all. I offered to change it to me watching her getting a Brazilian wax, and she hasn't called in a week. I know seeing a baby being born might be her dream, but I am not interested. Am I the idiot? Ha, you pulled that off perfectly. Not the idiot. Screw her. She'll probably wait until it's closer to your due date to pressure you, since you'll be under stress from the incoming birth, or pull off some type of stunt. I don't know when or how watching a baby being born became a spectator sport. My sister-in-law was worried about people coming to the hospital, so she just straight up didn't tell anyone when she was going into labor. We got a text a couple of days after the birth with a picture of the baby. In some situations, you just have to not put up with all the bull. You need to get in contact with your birthing center or hospital and put some things in place. You need to let them know who you want in the room with you and who you don't, and that your husband does not have a veto over you when it comes to this. Also, let them know that if he starts to cause a scene because you won't let his mommy dearest in, you want him gone too. My husband and I married 3 years ago and now have an infant daughter. We were best friends for 6 years before this. He has a tween daughter with his ex, and she's great. I love everything about the girl, outside of her shower usage. So she showers twice a day, once before school and once around 5 p.m. She stays in there for 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes every single time. Our hot water is electric, and her shower usage has raised our bill to nearly $600 a month for the past 4 months. When I talked to her dad about it, I'm met with an, "It's something we have to get used to," because I'm not going to tell her she can't shower. She uses all the hot water and considers the shower around dinner time, and the kitchen sink affects the temperature of the shower. She's constantly screaming out of the bathroom to turn off the kitchen sink when I'm literally trying to cook and need the water to do so. I've told her several times not to use the shower during the hours of 4 to 6 p.m. so I can cook and do dishes, but she always claims to forget or gets extremely angry and causes a bunch of tension in the house because she feels gross and needs a shower right that minute. I'm starting to grow resentful because there have been several times I've attempted to bathe our daughter, bathe myself, or do the dishes, and there's been no hot water. My husband also takes 2 showers a day, once before work and once immediately following work. He comes home at 6. He also complains because there's no hot water when he gets home, but he never says anything to his daughter. But recently, they cut my husband's hours down to half the time he usually had because the company's threatening to go under. So the financial responsibilities have been 80% on my shoulders. I own my own business. It used to be 50-50. I told him that now, since I'm paying significantly more than he is, I refuse to pay this much for electricity, and he and his daughter will both be limited to 1 shower a day for no more than half an hour. I told his daughter this as well. Both are calling me controlling and have disregarded everything I said and still shower twice a day for 45 plus minutes. So I left and told them to figure out how to pay for everything. I'm currently staying at my mom's with the baby. He says I'm an idiot because I just left them in a trying time, all because I want to control their showering. That's not it at all. They're financially ruining me, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. I have maybe $200 a month after I pay all the bills and a baby that needs diapers. This is gross, but I've only been able to shower twice without the baby since I had her because of them. I either bathe her or bathe myself thoroughly, and I need to bathe the baby because she's super chunky, gets stuff trapped in the rolls, and gets rashes. Edit. This wasn't the norm until recently. My stepdaughter moved in with us in September for school because her mom moved out of the district and she wanted to stay in the same school. So this is all new to me. My husband always showered twice a day, but the bill was still significantly lower because his showers don't usually exceed 20 minutes. They're both diagnosed with OCD, from what I've been told, but the only OCD behavior that's noticeable is the showering. Excuse me, but 14 hours in the shower every week is excessive. Yikes! OCD is relevant information, but it still doesn't disregard that you can't afford 14 hours plus of shower every week. Not the idiot, and they need to work with a professional to find different coping mechanisms or a higher paying job. At that point, it would be 6 times cheaper to get a family YMCA pass or gym membership and make them shower there. They should also absolutely both be getting more and better professional help with their OCD than they are, no matter how much that may be, because so many hours of hot water usage per week for just 2 people showering is just clearly not tenable. These people are rude and inconsiderate. If the stepdaughter wants $600 worth of showers, she can get a job and pay for it. I mean, the kid is a tween. She can't get a job. She needs support if this shower habit is a compulsion, like actual medical support. If it isn't something caused by her claimed OCD, then she needs a wake-up call in her dad too. OP, here's the solution. Go to your water heater. There will be a valve you can close. It'll cut off the hot water supply. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes to clean oneself. This isn't fair to you at all. I'm sorry, OP. My stepdaughter is in high school and has a best friend she's known since they were babies. My wife and I have 2 children together. My stepdaughter's best friend has a birthday in December. We are well aware of her birthday because we attend it every year. This year, my side of the family planned to take a huge overseas Christmas vacation, which required us to ask the friend's mother for the party date. We planned and bought our tickets to leave 2 days after the party, so my stepdaughter wouldn't miss it. Monday, my stepdaughter came home and told us that the party date was moved to accommodate some of her friend's family members who decided to fly in for it at the last minute. The problem is that the date was moved to one well after our departure date. Here's the problem. 1, we're not made of money, so for us to change the flight and hotel for our family will more than double the cost. 2, it'll be a 2-week overseas trip, so I already had my vacation approved and can't change it. If we fly out after the party, my vacation will be cut down to only a week. I only get to see some of my siblings at Christmas, so if I don't go this year, I won't see them until next year. 4, my entire side of the family planned our vacation around the party date months ago. My original solution was to tell our friend's parents to keep the original date since my family planned around their schedule. My wife immediately shot down that idea. My second solution was for us to leave as planned, but change only my stepdaughter's ticket so she's on break and is old enough to fly alone. My wife shot that down too, since she's also friends with the other mother and wants to attend the party. My wife's solution is for us to just fly out after the party. I don't like this idea at all because of the added cost and lessening time. Our talk turned into arguments that lasted all week. Last week, my wife put her foot down and said that we were not missing the birthday party, to which I replied that she was not missing it. I told her I was flying out with our 2 kids, as planned, whether or not she was on the flight. That took our argument to the next level, to the point where my stepdaughter called me an idiot, so I tried to ground her, at which point my wife said I couldn't because she was justified. Everything is a mess now. Not the idiot. The best solution, you and your other kids fly as planned and let your wife and daughter plan how they pay and organize their changes. I can't understand why your wife prefers a kid's birthday party to a vacation with your family. So in your daughter's and wife's eyes, not only does your daughter's friend take priority over your whole family, but your daughter's friend's extended family takes priority over your extended family. Your daughter and your wife are being massive brats here and are being utterly disrespectful to your family. This right here. Dude, you already planned your vacation around their party, so you shouldn't have to change it to accommodate the party. I don't get how a birthday party and an overseas family vacation are anywhere near the same. You came up with several viable solutions, and your wife is being unreasonable by not listening to any of them. Anywho, take the other kids and stick to the vacation plans. Your wife may or may not join you. At this point, her staying home would be a good thing. I have 5 children, a nearly adult male, a teen female, a younger teen female, 2 tweens, male and female. My niece, Isla, got married last Saturday, and when I received the invitation as a guest, it said OP's family on the invite, which, in my mind, included my children, myself, and my wife. There was no child-free marriage or minimum age warning. Even though Isla's a little older, she's always had a lot of contact when she was younger with my children, even more so with my oldest, and has contact at parties. Isla's wedding was just for family and close friends, with 50 to 60 people without table markings. From the invitation, I understood that my family was invited, and I took all my children. But considering that my other brother, Isla's uncle, also brought his 2 children, 18 male and teen female, because the invitation only included his family, same on invite. The ceremony was beautiful. During the party, my sister, Ayla's mother, came to ask if everyone had come, and I confirmed. She didn't say anything else, and I didn't think anything else. On Sunday, my sister sent me a message saying that it had been inconvenient to bring 6 people with me to a wedding with few people, and that I should have asked the bride and groom if I could take all my children, which almost didn't have enough seats. Some missed the wedding, so the number matched. I said that due to the invitation, Isla just included OP's family as guests, and I thought all my 5 children were included, and that I wouldn't mind just me and my wife going, but there was no limitation or warning in the invitation. Still, she doesn't agree. She said that when you have a big family, you have to confirm if you can take everyone, and don't guess. I sent a message to my niece to clarify, but she confirmed that it was a planning error of hers, but that she liked everyone there in the end. She imagined that only the older cousins would go. My sister's still criticizing me. So, am I the idiot? Let's get the record straight. You brought your 5 children and wife to a wedding, not a random group of 6 people, your family, to a wedding they were invited to. Not the idiot, right there. The invitation said your family. You took your family. The bride isn't mad, and the bride said she was the one in error and that she was happy to see your kids there. There's no issue here. Your sister's angry on behalf of someone who doesn't have an issue. When the invitation says, and family, and your relative knows exactly how big your family is, it's natural to assume you're all invited. What did your sister expect you to do? Leave the tween at home? OMG, your family is your family. It doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, or 30. If you get an invitation addressed to OP and family, that means the whole family. Your sister's blaming you for your daughter's error. Tell your sister to get bent. And I bet this isn't a new theme.